All right, have and have not fans. A character we haven't talked about in quite a while, but whenever there's a nod to her in regards to, just random dialogue, who killed Amanda? I don't know. But go ahead and like the video anyway. Let's try to get to 75 likes. Go ahead and hit subscribe, the bell notification icon, and select all. That way you're notified when I post new content. And follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. Yeah, I don't know, guys. So last night we met gotta get my notebook, my bad. We met Kendrick Wesley, who was a former law student alongside Amanda. And well, turns out that apparently he was only able to afford going to law school because of a scholarship that Catherine used to give out. But apparently the scholarship must have ended for whatever reason, and Kendrick is now working at the jail because that's the best he can do right now. So that leads to, him trying his best to assist Catherine, to get a phone call in order to find out how Wyatt's doing. And he said he's new here, but I'll do what I can for you, and that's that. But, something, I'm just going to throw this in here. Something that would have been nice on Catherine's end would have been to accept the sandwich anyway, because she does need to eat something. She can't just not eat. So I really don't have much to say here, aside from Wyatt admitted to shooting Amanda, but I still think that's bull crap. He mentioned that in the first episode of this season, and I did a bunch of videos surrounding that line. The dude was high. He didn't know what he was talking about. I mean, honestly, in my mind, based on him shooting at Catherine, was like, well, Jeremy, it's clear to see he has no reservation about pulling the trigger when necessary. I honestly don't buy Wyatt killing Amanda. No, Professor Cannon didn't do it. No, Quincy didn't do it. I've said this at least 1,000 times in my blog and on the channel. Whoever killed Amanda is alive. If they aren't alive, then that makes zero sense. Because of the fact that in order for Amanda's death to truly have significant closure, the person who killed her should be alive to face some form of consequence. So if Quincy was at Veronica's house, because Veronica got up because she is like she could smell deception because David didn't answer the phone. It was like, he's with that Maggie Day. So remember, she took off her heels and put on some sneakers and then went downstairs, and Quincy was there because she could smell him. Professor Cannon didn't do it. No, Warlock didn't do it. He was too busy abducting Jim. And why the hell would he shoot? No. I know some people suspected, what if it was one of Warlock's crew that went in the house trying to, rob it, and then they shot a man? I don't think that's the case either. I just feel that overall, Celine is probably the person who most likely did it. In my mind, I think Celine makes the most sense. You could argue Carlos as well, being, the oldest son. Hell, it could have been Jimmy, but then again, you know what? I would laugh my ass off if Jimmy was the one that killed Amanda for two reasons. Number one, at that point in the series, Jimmy was never mentioned, nor was he seen. It wasn't until Jim finally, and I forgot the episode numbers. I know I wrote them down for that Jimmy video, but it wasn't until the episode Diane Winchell where Jim is on television announcing his run for governor, and this is after Amanda died now, that, Carlos, Jimmy, and Celine popped up on the TV screen, and Jimmy at the time was 7 years old. I would laugh my ass off. If it turned out that Jimmy was the one that killed Amanda. I would be so done. I would be like, wow. So I don't think it was anybody aside from like Celine. Honestly, I don't think it was anybody but Celine at this point, because her motive was to get rid of the kids that, Jim actually paid attention to. I just feel that the whole Wyatt thing, go back to my video I did earlier this year. I don't feel like repeating it. I just think Wyatt was talking out of his behind. It's just like, I still don't believe Wyatt was the one that ran over little Lizzie. Remember, he said he was fighting some guys who were trying to even like take his jacket and rob him and everything. But he remembers getting in the car, like it went down the road, turned around, came up. I don't think Wyatt was the one. I think one of those guys because he said he was driving and some of the guys had grabbed onto the car. I feel like one of the dudes had the car and tried to go away, but then they hit Lil Lizzie, got out the car, and then Wyatt got in there and drove off. That's what I think. But I think it was Celine. Honestly, that's the person I think killed Amanda, because Jennifer Salison had the photo, had the blood splatter photos. It was like, look, there was no way it was suicide. It was a homicide, even though she called it as a suicide on the scene. That's what I think. And I honestly don't feel like talking about this subject anymore until we get concrete facts. So that's just my opinion. Let me know what your thoughts are. I think Celine is the #1 suspect, even though I think it would be funny as hell if Jimmy was the one that did it. Let me know your thoughts, and feel free to donate to the channel if you would like by hitting me up on PayPal, Cash App, or joining Patreon for as little as $1 a month.